So Sharath, reflecting back on your 9 years, what was the proudest moment as a founder and CEO of Stir?
Yeah, so I was thinking back at this question, we sort of leave an organisation, have a chance to think a bit, and it wasn't the moment I would maybe have called the proudest moment, but we had this crazy story where we had a fraud in Uganda a few years ago, and basically we found that we were defrauded by our own accounting firm. And it wasn't like a few £1,000s, it was over £100,000 that had come through some tax thing that had come up. And I just remember being like so scared. I remember really this very deep sense of personal responsibility. I'd raised this money from our donors, from a country where it was hard to raise money for sometimes as well. And I got the news literally, I was about to get on a plane to New York for the annual UN General Assembly meetings and the sort of things that happened around that week in New York. And Nithya was with me in that week, and we had to meet some of our current donors and talk to them about what happened and explain it. And I just remember just thinking, I just feel this real sense of dread going into this thing as well. But it was just really interesting when the first thing we talked to Joe, the board, I spoke to all the board members personally, and of course the senior team before as well. But I think the fact we were just open and honest and told them immediately, there was such a resounding sense of, yeah, we're so pleased you did this, and it's just so rare sometimes in the sector. And you're kind of living your values around, being that openness, the honesty there as well, and also the sense of a deep humility and not having all the answers sort of up front as well. It all came to that piece, and strangely I think our relationships got even deeper as a result of that. It was a very stressful time. I definitely lost a lot of sleep, and very lucky Tom had just joined us as our COO, and he really did a great job with Vinamika and the finance team to resolve the core issue. But for me, it was just a great example of whatever comes up, it gave me confidence you can live through it and you can find a solution as long as you keep really tightly in line with the values you articulated for the organization. So it was definitely one of the most trying leadership challenges I had personally over the 9 years, but it was one that I think when you get through it many months later, you go back and think, yeah, I'm so pleased I learned from this, and it gives me confidence that whatever happens, we'll find a way through it.
That's a great example of how the values are demonstrated in the life of the organization as well.
Yeah, and again, I wish maybe it hadn't had to do this, demonstrate it in that way, but sometimes you're tested often when things don't go to plan, right? When things go wrong. And that's when I think values can be so important to show and find a way through.